I thought you were gonna play "If You Want Blood, You Got It," man. I'm so disappointed, dude.
Listen. In order to do that, I gotta download the song, convert it to an MP3, upload it to BTR.
Ah, such
It's
a
not as
hassle.
easy as you think it is. I
Uh,
know I make all this look easy because I'm a pro at this now. I'm no longer in my rookie season.
okay, well, I didn't know. You should
Not,
tell me. I could have done all that for you, but
it's a
all
real
right.
pain in the butt.
Overly complicated. They're playing at AC/DC. Oh no, it Hell's Bells. Can't have that. No. Although we got to get Steve to make the song. Where is Steve? We haven't seen him in a while.
I know. Oh, I need to write him. Oh, see if he can come on.
Ever since he became a COVIDian. So we got a mask again, dude. You guys hear that? Even if you're vaccinated. Yay. I really hate this new science. That's the old stuff. Was science a week ago.
Well.
All right. Well, Kufar, Akbar, everybody, hello. This, of course, is another edition of Radio Free Kafiristan. This is a radio program dedicated to rightly dividing the truth between Christianity and Islam. We examine the evidence for both of these faiths in order to arrive at the truth that leads us to this end. Thus go I. Shalom. Peace and blessings to you. Of course, this is Eric Theckefer, a.k.a. Eric Theckefer, Eric Smith. I am your humble host, and I am again coming to you live from the cavernous depths of the Kafir Cave here in Dar al-Harb, Kafiristan. We are here every Tuesday evening at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I got people messaging me on my mess. I got a new bat watch, folks. I got the what is this? This is an Apple Watch, and this thing dings and doodahs 24/7. And I see that message. Thank you, Kelly, for letting me know that you're there. Okay, we are live streaming, of course, to three different directions. We are live streaming to the two Facebook page, the Dr. Eric Smith Facebook page, and the Crossing the Crescent Facebook page. And we're also live streaming to YouTube over on the Crossing the Crescent discussion group YouTube page. Remember, a kafir is somebody who does not heed the beliefs and prescriptions held by the religion of Islam. It is a derogatory term used by religious supremacists at and towards non-believers, mainly Christians. And this is according to the New Encyclopedia of Islam. It has something to do with covering non-believer. That's true, but just as the English word cool can mean not hot, it can also mean, well, hey, that's pretty neat. And so the same thing is true with the word kafir. So if you're going to call and say, hey, you don't know what you're talking about, what a word kafir means, shut your pie hole and go someplace else. Nobody wants to listen to you. If you want to call into the show, the call-in number tonight is area code 319-527-6706, area code 319-527-6706. A couple admin notes I want to get out of the way first. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing a live stream at the same time, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, with our friend Kelly Lawrence. Kelly is a preacher, or I'm sorry, not Kelly Lawrence, Kelly Powers, doggone it. Kelly is a preacher does Christian ministry out in California. And, well, we're going to have a discussion with him tomorrow. Am I missing something here? Am I hearing things? Maybe I'm not hearing people correctly. And we're going to just basically talk about what he does, what his ministry does, and what are some of the struggles that he's going through right now with his ministry, and some of the things that, well, him and I have in common. So we'll be discussing that tomorrow at 5 p.m. So if you want to block off maybe an hour of your time, that's about all the longer that I'll be able to talk until people get tired of listening to me. What is this? The Dr. Kufar phobia. What is this? The Kafir Trump? Is that? Let's. I don't know if I can.
Well, we all know that. We all know the Muslims' favorite person is Trump.
Yeah, and I think that's probably why he has the Trump thing going on tonight. It's pretty cool. Okay, so tonight we're going to be talking about quite a few different things. The first thing that we're going to be talking about, of course, we're going to lead off with what was going on with. Oh yeah, okay. I'm sorry. Yep, here's Kelly. He's not in California. He's in Vancouver, and if you go to his webpage or his Facebook page and you look at some of the pictures, this guy lives in paradise. I mean, he lives right on the ocean.
Vancouver Island's beautiful. You can see the whales and stuff like. Oh, it's amazing. I had an uncle that lived out in Vancouver Island, and he said it was like paradise.
Okay, well, I'm going to be extra nice to him. Maybe he'll invite me out there sometime. We'll have to see how that goes. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Kelly. Oh, okay, so what were we talking about? We were going to talk about. We're going to lead off with some Hatun updates, some Hatun news, and then about 30 minutes into the show, we're going to be discussing the Quran's view of the Trinity. What did Muhammad think the Trinity was when he said? When Gabriel told him to say, or actually when Allah told Gabriel, Allah put it on eternal tablets in the heaven, or if Allah did it, then they can't be eternal. Then that's kind of a but let's not even go there. Okay, so you have these eternal tablets in heaven, and Gabriel is reciting these eternal tablets to Muhammad, and on these eternal tablets it says, "Say not three." So who is that third person of the Trinity? Was it a mouse in the pocket of Jesus's cloak? Was it the Holy Spirit, or was it somebody else? Pray tell. And that's what we'll be discussing here shortly. Okay, first things first. There was John Isaac, who's not here. I don't know where John is tonight. John's always here.
No, I'm here.
Where? You're blind, Eric. He's here.
Oh my goodness, you're right there. You are right there.
Beside me.
Pretty easy to see. He's like, hey, John, I seen you there, John.
Yes,
I respect you enough to know that you're here, John. Just saying.
Oh, what an idiot. I let him in. I just didn't say hi. I'm sorry. I just didn't say hi to you. What a terrible host. What a moron. Okay, so John sent me a message on Skype, and I appreciate that, John, because I'd seen that earlier. As a matter of fact, AP had made a video addressing this is such a soap opera. AP makes a video about Ali Dawa's video, where Ali Dawa says in the title of the video that the person who stabbed Hatun was not a Muslim. However, if you watch the video, that's not what he says. And you have all these people liking it and commenting on it, saying Allah Akbar, yada, yada, yada. But he doesn't know. And nobody knows, as far as I know.
That would be the definition of misinformation. And that's why he did it, because that's anyone's ever going to see now. You know what I mean?
And what truly happened is it backfired on him, because what he wanted to do by doing that video is to drive the Islamophobes nuts, saying, oh, it was so a Muslim, and without anybody actually watching the video. See, the problem is that these people he calls Islamophobes actually watched the video and realized that the video title is, by definition, clickbait. But you know what was really funny about this whole thing is that the Muslims must not watch Ali Dawa's actual videos and only read the title, because hundreds of Muslims were agreeing and saying, yeah, he was non-Christian and everything else like this without even watching the video. So it drove the Muslims crazy instead of the Islamophobes as he originally planned. So I see that it backfired on him, really.
Well, Ali Dawa is not known for his honesty. I mean, let's just be honest. Let's just be honest about his honesty. He's not known for that. He's known for quite a few things, and honesty is not one of them.
He's known for looking like a rat and being the Muta wife of Mimi Hijab.
And there was a video Mimi did too. And I tell you what, you know, he's a big guy. hijab. He is. I mean, and he looks like pretty solid, but he looked pretty soft in that picture, all laid back, and he's kind of, I don't know.
Well,
he's going to that middle age point. You know what I mean? Not everybody can be an Army Airborne Ranger and run around. I'm going to put airplanes all their life. You know what I mean? Come on.
I'm going to put this out there. He's trying to scare people, saying that he was this MMA fighter and he trains and this and that. He doesn't train nothing. You see how flabby he is?
Yeah. See, that's what I was. And that's what that's what happens when you get older. I don't know how old he is, but I mean,
what it is
when I was that age, I mean, it was.
This is something he probably did like 10, 15 years ago, and is trying to reclaim that old glory that he once had, right? Oh, I can still do it with this big old beard gut that I have. Right, I think it's just a joke when he talks.
Well, it's. I mean, that people like that make those funniest home videos where you got, and I'm you get these girls that were, and I'm not slamming on women here, but they used to be cheerleaders when they were in high school, and they used to do those flips and flops and stuff. But now they've had a couple kids, gained some significant weight, and they get out there and they try to do that stuff, and it's ugly. And that's what happens when you get out of when you get out of shape and you get out of practice. You don't have that hand-eye coordination. You don't have that muscle strength or things of that nature. But other than that, okay, Rad. We were going to have you lead off with some news tonight, if I was not mistaken.
Correct. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So here we go. Here's the breaking news, or just a recap, basically. A Muslim practices dawah in Hatun Tash. Muslims condemned the attack while blaming the victim and excusing the attacker over possible age and mental health issues. Beholder Guard sees the blood of the Kafir and tries to make peace with the accused conman and hate imam Kenny Bomer. The Dawah civil war continues, with Beholder Guard calling Kenny a hypocrite and Kenny calling Beholder Guard to receive 200 lashes under Islamic law. Charles Doyle reverts back to Islam over possible fears for his safety. The Lion of Dawah, Marshall Gregory, is still MIA, and the Bloody Mary imam keeps failing the test. All this and much more on this week's review of As the Dawah Burns. But first, before we get into that, I just want to address some things to C.L. Edwards, some things that I heard him say in the condemnation video that they made. Well, let's take a listen to C.L. Edwards. Can you play that first clip for me, Eric?
Yeah, give me a second here. Let me get it up. Hold on. Whoa, I don't want to cast this. No, I want to just make it bigger. That's all.
He says he's a professor.
Okay. I am.
Because, like I said,
Turn it up.
It's a place of free speech, but it's a place of offensive speech. If you can't handle that, don't go there.
Okay, I did not. Let me. Yep. Okay, I got it. Okay, yeah, because that was way down. Let me push it back. Let me do it again. Sorry.
Because, like I said, it's a place of free speech, and it's a place of offensive speech. So if you can't handle that, don't go there.
Okay, pause it before you play the second one. All right, so there you have. He's talking about Speaker's Corner, obviously, but you know what? This is to Kenny and Charles. Swap Speaker's Corner out for the internet, which used to be a place of free speech, right? It did before, the cyber jihad and cancel culture and all that crap. Okay, before 2018, it was pretty much free speech. Now, like he said, if you don't, like C.L. Edwards said, if you don't like the things that Eric and others are saying on the internet, then don't go to the internet. Or at least don't join his stream, which Kenny did willingly for years. Or at the very least, listen to it on YouTube or Facebook or wherever it's played. Now, can you just go ahead and continue playing? Let's play clip 2, please.
Yep.
That's right. That's the bottom line with that. As far as violence, we've had an uptick of violence in the last 2 years. And that's been across the board, all across the world, particularly the Western world, because of ever since the COVID pandemic came into play. So there's violence on airplanes. There was recently violence at a baseball game at a baseball stadium in the United States of America where I think 4 people were shot. There was violence in not too long ago in Miami where people standing outside of a line waiting to go into a nightclub. Someone jumped out with semi-automatic weapons and sprayed the whole entire crowd, where numbers of people were murdered and injured. There's been uptick in violence in New York, in major cities across the United States of America. There's been violence perpetrated by people of every single group, every single race, and every single nationality and ideology. So people are becoming a lot more violent. People are becoming resorting to violence to settle disputes. People don't like what people are doing, how they look while they're doing it. They're resorting to violence. And all of that is condemned. All of that is wrong.
Okay, go ahead and pause it there. Thank you. All right. So are you listening to CL? Did you guys hear him? I'm specifically talking to Kenny and Charles here. Violence is all across the U.S. It's crazy in Chirac. People are being shot on the highway. Over 172 shootings on the highways alone. Multiple highways, by the way. People are being murdered walking to work outside of the Sears Tower. Riding the L or subway. Stabbing, waiting for the bus. Stabbed to death in the suburbs while waiting in line at a high-end grocery store in Darwin. Okay, that's seriously, that makes no sense. There are no safe places anymore, not even safer places. Now, at this point, I can see Kenny and Charles say, what does that have to do with Islam? When they should be asking a question, what does this have to do with us? I'll get to that in a second, but just bear in mind, people. People in the U.S. people are in the U.S., people with severe mental health issues, which also affects Muslims. Play clip number 3, please. Let's go ahead and play it.
Violence is real. Violence has been increasing for the last 2 years since the pandemic. There's been a issue of people with social disorders, mental health disorders. Somehow, mental health never affects Muslims. Anything that anybody who happens to be Muslim or happens to be from a particular country that does something wrong, it can never be mental health. It's always that they are some type of jihadi or some type of.
Okay, go ahead and pause it. Yeah, mental health does affect Muslims. I agree with that. And violence due to mental health issues is up all over the place. I agree with everything that CL said.
Mm-hmm. I do too.
Yeah. Me three.
They just need to be saying it.
No, the question is,
when they don't say it, then people think, well, was this just a jihadi attack? So the authorities need to report it. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, the question is, do Kenny and Charles believe it, or does even CL believe it? If they do, well, if they do, then why in the world would any of them think it was a good idea to post a picture of an innocent woman along with her phone number and her place of employment on the internet? Why would you think it was a good idea? It was a good thing to dox Eric, accusing him of being a hate preacher, just like they accuse Hatun of. And in the case of Charles, falsely accuse him of showing pictures of Muhammad, something he did not do at that point. Why would you think it would be a good thing to advertise on the internet to show up to Eric's place of work or to his school board, accusing him of these things? I will remind you, Kenny, that you willingly participated on Eric's show from time to time for around 2 or 3 years. You don't see or even allow for the possibility that some Muslim who is suffering from mental issues would see your doxing, see the picture, see the phone number, see the place of work, and read the accusations, and actually show up to Eric's place of work in junior high school and stabby, shooty? Is that beyond the realm of possibilities for your mind to process? Now, I'm sure Kenny will say, we condemn violence and we're not violent, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, I got that coming. That's coming. Mm-hmm.
Oh, hold on.
I got that. Oh, I got that clip.
The whole point of the rattle rant is to let me rant. You're interrupting the radical rant. I'm just saying.
I'm sorry.
I'm John Maddening your show right now. Okay.
Rad on, rad.
All right. No, it's not seriously. Is that beyond the realm of possibilities, Kenny? Kenny and Marshall, Kenny and Charles, for your mind to process? Now you will say we condemn blah blah blah. Yeah, I agree. You cowards may not be. But do you speak for every Muslim? or otherwise that say or could have or who could have seen the posts and the videos, especially the mentally ill ones? Seriously, can you honestly say, Kenny, that there is no way that a Muslim suffering from mental health issues could see that post and say, hey, I'm going to go kill Eric or his boss because she did not fire him? Would you give a loaded weapon to a mentally ill person? If you say no, that could never happen. Or even if you say yes, that could happen, but it has nothing to do with you posting the pictures and calling Eric a hate preacher, and swine of the humankind and all that other stuff, or someone who makes mischief in the land. Makes mischief.
No. He didn't say mischief. He said caused corruption.
Either way, whatever.
He'll call you a liar because he'll say, I never said mischief. I said corruption.
All right. You're right. I excuse you for interrupting the radical rant.
But if you ask any Arabic speaker, they can't tell you what corruption is, though, or what fitna is.
Correct. And again, along with false accusation that he's teaching Islam to his students, that any condemnation that you have when a Muslim gets triggered by offensive things, goes on a stabbing and shooting or driving kill spree, will be meaningless. Let me continue. As far as Kenny offering to be Eric's meat shield, as much as I would like to see that fantasy of his come true, fantasy of him being a hero. Oh, he said, don't you remember? He said he'd jump in front of the stabber or the shooter to protect you, Eric. He said he'd be your meat shield. Again, as much as I'd like to see that, Kenny did.
Oh, I didn't.
Again, I would like to see that fantasy come true. But again, Kenny, are you going to be in the front, in the back, or on both sides of Eric at the same time? Just watch the video of the attack on Hatun. There were a bunch of people standing next to her and all around her, and probably, I would say, a few Muslims who would have intervened if they could. But it does not happen that way. It's just a normal conversation and then stabby, shooty. Charles knows. I assume Charles knows. He was a police officer. He was a cop. And he knows it can go from license or ID, please, to you're in a gun battle for your life, which lasts an average of only 3 seconds. Mm-hmm. Kenny, Charles, if you can't admit that doxing and continuous threats against Eric are wrong, and any Muslim who does not call out Kenny and Charles, I'm talking to you, CL Edwards, for the doxing Eric and an innocent woman, that's the thing, an innocent woman, that has nothing to do with any of this, then any condemnation you give will always be after the fact, and the only reason is that it makes Islam look bad, as many of you said on that show. In other words, the only thing that we will hear when you condemn any Muslim attacking a non-Muslim is Kenny saying, go ahead, play that last clip.
Okay, here we go.
And we're paused. Oh boy, we're amateurs. It worked out a lot better in my mind.
No, hold on.
Kenny Bowman don't even have to be at the front of the pack. I'll be back in the back smiling.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yep, that's all we hear from you. Yep, I won't have to be there. I'll be in the back of the pack. I'll just be the one smiling as somebody stabbies Eric. Which, take one for the team. But anyway, you know what I mean? No, seriously. But anyway, that concludes the radical rant. I hope you all enjoy it, but it sounded a lot better when I worked it out. Anyway.
No, it did. It was great. I appreciate that. That was I was pretty impressed
awesome.
with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to get to our topic as soon as we possibly can, but there's a couple things that I wanted to address when we were listening to this full-throated apology, quote unquote, or I don't know if it wasn't not an apology, condemnation. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for here. Full-throated condemnation from CCTV, whatever that is, the station that Kenny has. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So let me see if I can find what I did with it. Here it is. And let me put it up here. And I am sharing. Okay. So here it is. I hope you enjoy.
This TV network.
Yeah, why don't we have anything fancy like that, dude?
Everyone who's watching, my name is Kenny Bowman. This is Kenny Bowman Live on Consider This TV, where truth is made clear from falsehood. And I do bear witness there's no God other than Allah. And I bear witness that Muhammad is his final servant, the seal of all prophets. And alhamdulillah, okay, so listen, on behalf of the Consider This TV network and all the affiliates, I have Brother Charles here with us. We have Brother Jamal here with us, with O People of the Book, Brother Charles with Examine the Word. And on behalf of Sister Katarina, who's on her way with the Veiled in Virtue, Brother Abu Yazid, who is on his way to join the panel with Preacher to Muslim, and on behalf of Brother Muhammad, who's busy with his family with Coventry Faith Foundation, we do want to condemn the attack against Hatun Tash at Speaker's Corner today. We totally condemn any acts of violence against people of any religion and individuals or groups or so forth based on their religion. Be the acts be committed by Muslims or non-Muslims, whoever it is. We condemn these acts.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You're a liar.
And Islam doesn't. And Islam doesn't.
Right. Well, here's where my problem is. Last fall, we had Hatun on, or it was last September, we had Hatun on the Radio Free Kafiristan show, and the topic was the treatment of women in Islam. And the Imam champions himself, a great debater and supporter of this ideology of the superior treatment of women in Islam. I know, don't go there, but that's what he does. Well, she embarrassed him completely on the program, and he ended up leaving. And I could see that he was visibly, and I would be visibly upset too. I'm not faulting him on that, but she basically schooled him. And about a month later, this is when we have this instance of her getting her head slapped off of her shoulders here at Speaker's Corner. Now, did you hear what he said? We condemn all violence. All violence. And so my question is if you are condemning this violence now, why didn't you condemn the violence at that time? Because this is what happens. There's a pattern that keeps on getting worse and worse and worse. So what I want to do is I want to fast forward this a little bit, and I'm going to come back to that screenshot of Hatun and address that. Okay, so let me go back here to 1705. Close enough. There we go.
Brother Abu Yazid, let me make a statement, because he's making Eric Smith is making a comment in the chat about what happened to her last fall when someone slapped her or whatever they did and broke her glasses and so forth. And so initially the person who slapped her was hollering out he was a Christian. Or the word was that he was a Christian. We don't listen. I still don't know who this person was. I don't care who this person was.
Wow.
Okay. He does not know if that person was a Christian at that time, and he still doesn't know now. You cannot be that stupid. And I don't mean to be condescending about it, but you cannot be that moronic and think that person who almost took Hatun's head off when he slapped. I mean, it was a full-handed slap right across the head. Almost took her head off, and could not. I mean, if you think that a Christian would be that upset of Hatun holding up a picture of a cartoon of Muhammad, that would upset a Christian. You do not have a lick of sense in your head. If you think that was a Christian, and I don't know who it is. Everybody at Speaker Corner says it is a Muslim now. That's what they're all admitting. But if you still don't know that, then you're either moronic. I know he's not a moron. I know that he's an intelligent man, but he's being obtuse and he's being deceptive. Is what he's doing. Oh, it gets better. Let's take a listen here.
I have a question about this too, if you don't mind me interjecting.
What's that, Isa?
My quick question that I wanted to interject quickly is that this is something I don't quite understand, and I don't know if you have the answer for this, but I'm just like, I don't know, why can't people just own the problems that are going on within their own community? Like, if something is wrong, just call it out and say, look, I think if you want to take this, if I were to take the Islamic position, I would take a progressive leftist Islamic position. But I know nobody here believes that's the true Islam, but that would be an Islam that is palpable to me. But the progressive leftist Islam would say, look, we have different interpretations of this text. We have different cultural things. This person is a Muslim, but this is not the Islam I believe in. And the way I interpret Islam is not this Islam. Why not just take that approach? Like, I'm not understanding why you have to die on this hill. It's just something I'm not.
Well, it's because
not
there's a lot of, it might end up getting your head cut off for number one, because to criticize any part of the Quran that supports, that people use to support these types of actions, makes yourself, that's a form of apostasy, because that's calling into question let's see, how is that worded? I'm not going to get it out right now, but it's worded in the Reliance to Traveler to question any part of the Quran or anything that has been decreed as authoritative by Islamic scholars is considered apostasy. Okay, we can come back and discuss that more here. I want to finish playing this clip here.
Thank you.
Okay.
I did make a comment saying,
listen to him now.
Did she turn the other cheek? And the reason I said this is because
no. Now listen to his excuse, and we're going to go back, and because right after this, because he's addressing my comments in his chat room. Right after he said this, I sent them that screenshot. I was like, I dare you to put that up on your screen. Is basically what the title of the email was. I dare you to show this and try to say this. Listen to what he says.
You know that the Bible says turn the other cheek. So I didn't say that I agree. Let's make it clear. Let's make it clear.
Let's make it clear.
What I was
exactly. We're going to.
So I didn't agree or endorse her being slapped. I didn't like it then.
You didn't condemn it either.
Her being harmed today. I totally reject that. But you can't conflate me saying what the Bible says.
Okay, so let's just take a look at what his post said on Facebook right after that happened. Christian woman and what? A known antagonist of Muslims and Islam. Do you see any condemnation here? No, I do not. Hatun Tosh was slapped by a man at Speaker's Corner while brandishing a Quran with holes drilled into it, and a picture of who she referred to as Prophet Muhammad. Do you see any condemnation yet, or do you see any more incitement or justification here for getting slapped? No. She should have turned the other cheek based on, and she didn't. Now notice, she should have turned the other cheek. Does this post address anything, say anything about Christian teachings? About her not practicing Christian teachings? Does this say anything about how absurd, and he's going to say this, how absurd Christian teachings are? And it's instinctive to not turn the other cheek. Well, number one, if you're going to make that argument, if you're going to try to make that argument that it's instinctive not to turn the other cheek, when Christ clearly commands us to turn the other cheek, I thought you said that you believed in all of the prophets and all of the teachings of Jesus, peace be upon him. That wouldn't just be a ruse, would it? That wouldn't be just like a front that you're putting up now, would it? Well, it sounds an awful lot like one to me. But then look on what he says. She should have turned the other cheek based on her constantly, not based on her, notice this, not based on her faith or what the Bible teaches, like he insists here, liar, but based on her constantly positioning herself as an enemy of Islam. So if you're going to sit there and you're going to try to say, oh, well, if Islam condemns, we all feel bad about this, we condemn this, and we condemn all four forms of violence. No, you don't, you liar. You are just you're being completely
bold-faced liar.
You're being completely dishonest, and you're trying to cover your tracks. You're trying to CYA, and that's all that show was one great big CYA. I heard a couple good things out of it. Charles Doyle made some great comments on there that I was like, whoa, Charles.
What? I didn't hear that.
No. Charles was echoing basically the same thing, because I think Charles spoke before CL. It doesn't matter. But the fact is that Charles was basically echoing the same thing that CL was saying. He's saying, look, we can't have this violence. Even though you disagree with somebody based on what they're saying, no matter how offensive it is, they have the right to say it. And if you're offended, you need to walk away.
But wait a second. He posts a picture of your boss with her number, posts where her place of work, okay, the Seattle Rapids School, right? Encourages, gives a threat to you, an ultimatum to you, saying either resign or keep your radio gig or whatever. I mean, all this stuff, threatening to show up. I am sorry, dude. I mean, I actually feel sorry for the dude. I really, really do, after finding out about all the things that's wrong with him. And he might have been on his meds that day. He might have been taking his meds, but the dude seriously is off. I am just saying, and I feel bad for whatever happened to him. You know what I mean? But still. Okay. Well, no, that's the hypocrisy.
I agree. Okay, listen. That's exactly what I was going to say. That's exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say, look, I might agree with him, but he can be a hypocrite too.
I mean, who thinks that's a good idea? Who would think that is a good idea? I mean, dude, like when Beholder Guard messaged Kenny's son, I'm like, you did what? You know what I mean? What the, and especially all the stuff that he said to him, that was totally wrong. We condemn that, and I didn't say, well, if Kenny wouldn't have done this and that, and you know what I mean? No, I mean, just not.
May I, Eric?
Yeah, go ahead.
May I? And he says, why doesn't Hatun turn the other cheek? Well, you don't see her turning around and catching him and beating the crap out of him. You don't see her doing that. So, I mean,
what did she do, Connie? What did she do, though? What did she do?
She prayed for the Muslims and told them not to run away from Jesus.
Jesus!
I'm sure she did turn the other cheek.
And I'm only talking about the first time. Is she's not not doing that. She's not facing him down like the first time, and then the second time stabbing. She didn't pull out a knife and start stabbing him, did she? So on that both times, she was turning the other cheek, and plus, she doesn't press charges on these people.
Here's what she did do. Here's what turning the other cheek looks like. I'm going to play it. Go ahead and pull it full screen.
Okay.
Go ahead. Here we go.
Your prophets cannot live without you. Cutting people's arms is not going to help you.
No. Don't play this one. I got another one to play. It's identical. But it's
a little
different. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I like that one. That was from Jay.
Wait, is that the Sam?
Yeah, that's the Sam. That's the Sam and Jay one. He did good work with this.
Where's all the talking?
I just fast forwarded to her preaching to the Muslims. So
I'm going to play the whole thing.
Oh, you're going to play the whole thing? Okay, well, that's fine, too. I just we didn't want to hear that hate preacher Sam. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
it goes beautiful. All right, I'll play.
All right, no, it's
all right.
No, it's good. Go ahead, play it. Yeah. Professionals.
Right, so go ahead. I wanted to say one quick thing too. I wanted to echo that I do agree. I didn't see what Charles said, but I heard what CL was saying, or Abu Yazid. I think what's super important is if you're going to go to this kind of space, it's going to be what you might call toxic. You're going to hear things that are against your faith. That's what freedom is about. You're going to be offended. So if you don't want to be offended and you don't want to be hurt, then you have to go to other spaces where you're not going to be hurt. And it was interesting because I listened to that show and they said, he basically said, I'm a woman. The Charles person said that. He's like, oh, you're this weak person. And I'm like, because I'm advocating for free speech. You're the person who says you need to protect speech. You need to protect certain situations. And I'm like, I don't think so. If freedom has responsibility, and there are going to be painful things you're going to hear. Like there's statements about particular things in Islam that will hurt and offend people. And if you don't want to be a part of the engagement and hear these narratives, this might not be the space to be. And it's just better to go to a different space. You can go to maybe what you would call an echo chamber, people who say the things that you believe in. But if you want to be challenged, that's part of why I'm here. I'm interested in being challenged. I want to hear things that are going to get me closer. I can't say the truth, but because I don't know what the truth is, but I can say to truth. I think I have to hear the whole story. So that's why I'm here. I'm here to listen and hear different points of view. maybe points of view that I don't normally hear. And I think that's the kind of space like Speaker's Corner is. You're going to hear points of view that you might not want to hear, and that's the kind of contribution I would want to share to the space there.
Okay, and thank you for that, Isa. And we agree. I mean, if you can't, and this is the difference between Pakistan and the West. I mean, here in the West, we're allowed to speak our mind as long as we're not inciting people to violence, telling people to go kill somebody or any of that such. We're allowed to say anything that we want to, and to try to stop that is antithetical to the very nature of not only our country today, but the founding of our country, for Pete's sake. And this is why when we go through, I've done several shows on the Sharia and shown how the Sharia is indeed contradictory to in almost every single article of the Constitution and in almost every single amendment of the Bill of Rights. So if you don't like what you're hearing, go someplace else. Get out. Turn the channel. Shut it off. Yep. But don't physically attack the person who's saying it. You don't have to respect the person for saying it, and you don't have to agree with the person who's saying it. But you can't stop the person from saying it.
Is there any videos that show him walking up before he started attacking?
No. The only reason why they caught this is because there's two videos of the stabbing. The one is where they're filming two guys having a conversation, and in the background immediately behind them you can see the guy goes at her with the knife. And then the second one is from further away. It's from about 20 yards away,
but not prior to it, like even watching him walk up.
I don't know, they might have it, and the police might have it now. I don't know.
Sure.
Okay, Chris.
All right. I just, you can go ahead and put it up on the screen. The video I have there.
Yeah, that's that first one you're talking about.
First off, I just want to say to my sister Hatun, peace of Christ be with you, sister. I was talking to you earlier in Skype, and as I said in Skype earlier, you are a strong soldier for Christ, strengthened by the Spirit. I know that you'll be back to Speaker's Corner. I know that you're going to be doing what you're doing, and you have my full support. And any Christian that doesn't support you doesn't really want to chat with me. I believe that as Christians, we should all support in Hatun and what she's doing, especially how strong that she's being over in UK, trying to preach the gospel to the Muslims so that they can reach salvation. Now, in saying that, we do have this video by a dear brother, Jai Apologetics. He made this, and this is a really good video. And it's got Sam Shimon talking in the background, and it's got this video. So it's 3 minutes and 20 seconds. So I'll be quiet and play the video.
All right. Make sure you mute yourself, Chris, when you play it.
Oh, just wait, Eric. I'm going to redo this again just to make sure that I hit the volume, because that's happened, of course, before, and we don't want to do that again.
Hold on. Rad, can you remove, let me see here. Rad, can you remove, I don't want to remove your thing because I might accidentally remove you, and I don't want to do that. Okay, go ahead, Chris.
That one's not mine.
What?
Oh, there it is. Sorry.
Yeah.
Every blood shed.
Dear Muslim people,
for Jesus,
Lord Jesus doesn't need me.
Is an exaltation for the person.
Allah is in need of you for to be God.
Now that her blood was shed,
Allah cannot do without you.
Watch how Jesus will now exalt her and elevate her.
Your prophet cannot live without you. Cutting people's arms is not going to help you. Muslim people, you know how much it hurts when you run away from Lord Jesus Christ. It's not about the blood on my hand.
Every blood
shed on my hand.
For Jesus,
it is unacceptable. It is unacceptable. You are running away from Lord Jesus Christ.
Is an exaltation for the
It is unacceptable. 21st century, you haven't repented.
Say about the Christ. The same Holy Spirit that filled Stephen fills us if we yield to the Spirit and fall in love with the Spirit, as Hatun has yielded to the Spirit. That woman is in love with the Spirit. And the Holy Spirit that filled Stephen filled her. Like Stephen said, Lord, do not hold this sin against them. She's saying, Muslim people, turn to Jesus. Don't anger Jesus. Jesus doesn't need me. God doesn't need me, but your Allah needs you. Do you see the spirit of Stephen filling her? That's the same Holy Spirit in you if you believe. So that same Holy Spirit will give you that same power, that same boldness he gave Stephen and Paul and Hatun. If you yield to the Holy Spirit and not resist the Holy Spirit and run from the Holy Spirit. Now, brethren, that blood was not shed in vain. You see that blood? Tertullian, a church father, said, the blood of the martyrs is the seed of the church. Every Christian soul that's martyred and killed for Jesus, every seed, human seed, meaning human life, a human life devoted to Jesus that dies and is planted, will then reap a harvest of souls that will be saved, whom the Holy Spirit will bring to the feet of Jesus Christ. They can shed our blood, but when the Lord sees the blood shed in his name for his honor, he arises. Don't forget who your Jesus is. Don't forget who your Jesus is, guys. Pay attention to who your Jesus is. When Stephen had his blood being poured out from the stones, Jesus stood up and welcomed him into his presence. The Lord stands up to honor all his servants, his brothers and sisters, sons and daughters of the living God, who gladly shed their blood for his glory. He will not forget you. He will not overlook every drop of blood that you shed for his glory. He will honor your blood and honor your love, and he'll arise to be glorified in and through you. But we need to wake up. We need to wake up. Every blood.
Wow, you're right. Play the whole thing. That was great. Yeah. No, seriously, it was very impacting. No, here's the thing. This is, I mean, yeah, Stephen, but this is, if you got to read the story of Perpetua. This is Perpetua. You know what I mean? Can you guys hear me? Hello?
Yes, sir. We hear you.
But yeah. you got to read the martyrdom of Perpetua, because
sorry, Chris, I muted you.
But that's what I'm seeing here. I mean, wow, I'm like tearing up here, and I'm a big, strong biker, outlaw biker guy. Should be tearing up. But
weren't you in a gang or something? Somebody said you were in a gang.
I was in I ride with motorcycle enthusiasts. Okay, just saying.
Who is this guy in the chat? Raj Speaker's Corner. He's trying to claim that the guy was Shia.
Okay, that doesn't matter. So he was tails, not heads.
Well, I don't know what the point is, but that's okay.
Actually, I wouldn't believe that. No, Shia. Honestly, they're the hippies of Islam. I actually like Shia. I get along with Shia. Shia really are. They're laid back. I mean, Sunni Muslims, they're the ones like on meth or crack, dude. They're like out of their minds.
Okay, well, all right. When I think of the Iranian mullahs and their, what is it, the Republican Guard, I don't think I would call them laid back. That's just
I think that's the Iranian Shias. But there's many Shias at different places too, and that's a government too. So there's different forms. There's an Indian Shias, Kashmiri Shias. They're very different. They don't have the same mentality. I agree with.
They need to get
totally with Dr. Radical.
Well, hold on a second.
Dr. Radical, I'm with you on that. I'm Team Shia with you, bro.
No. Seriously, this is true. Now, the same thing with Ahmadiyans. They're all laid back and peaceful. But I guarantee you, they get the upper hand. They get the power. Forget about it, dude. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. But right now, Shia, actually, no. I have pleasant memories of Shia. Anyway,
okay. Hey, Chris, was there something else that you wanted to talk about as far as the Trinity and the Quran, or are we going to make this transition?
Hey, yeah, we want to talk about the Trinity and the Quran. We can do that.
Yeah, well, I was, here's, I want to point out one more thing here. Let me do this. I'm sorry. I don't want to end on a Debbie Downer note here. I watched a David Wood video this morning, or maybe it was yesterday morning, and it was absolutely priceless. because on Sunday's show we had discussed whether or not we could help Hatun or not.
Hey. As
what?
David said, we are not saying that we would help Hatun per se, but if somebody was to somehow Google or YouTube DCCI Ministries, and in that page, right about where Eric's circling right now on the right side of the page, it may say something with the letters of PAYPAL. Now, I would never ask anybody to do anything like that for Hatun, because we know Hatun is very too proud for this type of thing anyway, and she doesn't like people asking her to give help for her and things to this nature. So that's something that I wouldn't do, because this Sister Hatun is a very dear sister of mine that I talk to on a regular basis. But if anybody else out there was looking for a way that they would like to help the cause of Hatun, you can just go ahead and click that link, and it'd be much appreciated.
Yeah, I'm not doing that unless a Muslim does it. I'm just saying, that's just my personal opinion, because you know what I mean?
I'm just going to put this out there as well to Mr. Kenny Bomber. Kenny, you contacted people earlier as a plea when your ex-wife's house and your son's house got burnt down, and I'm not going to say either way if it happened or not. I don't care either way. But I reached out to you, and I helped out in a way. So it would be nice to see you reach out on the other side in this time of stress as well.
God bless you. God bless you, Chris, for doing that. Honestly, I mean that. God bless you. Although I'm still like, what were you thinking? But no, seriously, God bless you for that.
That's a good word, Chris. That's a good word.
Okay, well, let's just say this. And Chris is absolutely right that because so many people have reached out to say, hey, I want to do a fundraiser for you. I want to go do a GoFundMe, and she continually rejects that, and that's fine. But if you're going to support her ministry, that would be a form of support for her. So again, don't go to this PayPal site here, and don't donate to her if you wanted. If you were thinking about doing a GoFundMe or something like that, don't do that, and don't do this either. We're just saying.
Yeah, we understand.
But
I just want to say,
I went ahead and followed the advice, or did not follow the advice of David Wood today, and
I just want to say,
it's a pleasure to do it.
I just want to say one more thing on this. In Kenny's live stream, and I think I heard it in another one. Maybe that's where they heard it from. But evidently, remember, they were saying over and over again that the attacker was 16 years old. The attacker has yet to be caught, as the last time I checked 2 hours ago. So how did they know he was 16 years old?
Well, this Raj up in the chat said the young man who stabbed Hatun was Shia from Iran. So all the Muslims in the UK are saying that he isn't Muslim, even though that we all know that Shia are Muslims, of course. And then it says, check Atheist Steve Twitter. We found the guy.
Did you turn him in? I'm just saying.
So if they know who it is, he's going to be turned in eventually anyways.
Well,
right?
if definitely it was Shia, they'll probably kill him themselves. I mean, actually, no. You know what I mean? No.
Well, if they know who the guy is, why hasn't there been an arrest? You would think that there would be an arrest.
Exactly. And I don't understand. How did he not
He's probably not in the UK anymore.
How did he not get caught? They had a squad car right out. I'm sorry, if that was in Chicago.
Yes, I know. It was right there, like 20 feet away at the least. He runs, and here comes.
You notice how quick?
Sound.
I mean, that was within 5 seconds of the stabbing.
Exactly.
Yes, it's on
that kind of
tape.
raises your eyebrows and say, well, maybe they knew this was going to happen. Maybe they were tracking this guy, and just as soon as he busted loose, they went after him.
Well, I want to point out something here.
Something
I don't know if anybody else has thought about this as well, but I have. The first video that we got of this Hatun stabbing was from a Muslim.
Yep.
Weirdly enough, and you do realize that this guy was about a good 40 to 50 feet away from the action. It's not like it was 10, 20 feet. He was a good 40 to 50 feet, maybe even further away from the actual stabbing, because I'm not sure, because you can change the lens, you can zoom in and whatnot in a camera.
Sure.
So I'm not quite sure how far, but it was a good distance. But why did he face Hatun at that time? He was over there. He was over there recording another discussion with other people, and then all of a sudden he catches the stabbing and was basically the only one, except for the camera, that was facing Hatun that caught the frontal stabbing, right? Like the vicious one that we could all see that is up on there. But the original first video was brought up by a Muslim, and you can hear him. He's plain as day. He's Muslim in a video, right? But my question is, how did he turn at that second to catch that stabbing?
No. Yeah, and if you notice, he says, "Today is not a good day to be out here," and then all of a sudden, whoa, 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 right? My first thought is, how is he saying that? Why? What does he know that we don't know? That was my first thought: is why is he even saying this?
You know,
as if he knows what's going on, because everybody's on the side, because usually there's pockets everywhere in the middle of the road, but everybody's off to the side. It kind of looks innocent to me.
I want to continue to lay out a little bit more of my case, because since he caught that on camera, and he really actually caught it on camera, there was no way that he couldn't have missed it, viewing it himself. Why didn't he view where the guy was running away?
Oh, I know. He did not. Yes.
So that he could alert people to the direction that he went.
And ran after him. Ran after him with the camera on his himself, right?
Wait. Hold on a second. Let me interject here, please. I'm sorry I did not madden the show, but seriously, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but welcome to 2021 now. But no, seriously. No, well, think about everything you guys just said, and you picked up things that I didn't make the connection with. But yeah, so he started to follow in the direction the guy was running, and what does he do? He confronts some guy, okay, and just starts, hey, what happened here? And the guy's like, I don't know. Don't leave me off camera. Remember, watch that. He's like, no, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. He's like, leave me alone. Just don't film me. And then he gets it. Then that dude that he was following assaults him, the cameraman. You know what I mean? Like total distraction. And he just comes up and says, I was assaulted too. You know what I mean?
I'm wondering if that guy might have been with the stabber.
I hate to do it.
Okay, Chris, let's hear your conclusion then. Let's hear your conclusion. Go ahead.
I'm going to lay out my last little bit of evidence to go along. Again, this isn't what I fully believe, but I will only go where the evidence follows or leads me to. So we all remember that Hatun got slapped by a Muslim. We all know that Muslims have been constantly having the cops arrest Hatun and taking her from Speaker's Corner. Now again, if you're beating somebody up and they won't leave, you get the cops on them and they won't leave. What is the last thing that you would try to do to get that person out of there? You would have to try to kill them, because if you cannot be beat up and scared to be away, and the cops will not keep you away, the only thing left is to get rid of that person themselves. Again, I'm not saying any particular names, but if I follow the line of logic and facts that we have, this was a set-up job on Hatun by the Muslims in the UK to prevent her from preaching the gospel at Speaker's Corner.
Actually, let me take that one step further. I would say, honestly,
I'm going to play the devil's advocate, but go ahead, Rad.
I would say, honestly, because, me an aficionado of spy novels, especially, the spy novels from the UK. The UK is the most nanny state there is. They monitor everyone. Okay. It's very scary what they do. Okay. I guarantee, well, I shouldn't say I guarantee you, but my suspicion is this. They knew who this dude was. He might have been a confidential informant. He might have been someone working with them. I'm just saying they either allowed this to happen with a wink and a nod, okay, in order, because they're probably more pissed at Hatun than the Muslims are, because every week they got to come in and either arrest her, you know what I mean? Okay, I'm just saying the authorities are like, okay, fine, let her get cut up, sliced and diced, and then we can, hopefully she won't come back. But they don't know Hatun's going to be back. You know what I mean? Okay. Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, no, and there is cases where MI5 and MI6 have actually done this, allowed this to happen. Okay, on an intelligence basis, this person's a pain in the butt. She's stirring up trouble. Okay, let's, let somebody else clip her and get rid of her. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. I don't understand how the dude got away. That doesn't make any sense. They were right on him. They were right there. Yeah, they were Johnny on his spot.
Yeah, because normally a bobby car is not there. I mean, there's no bobby car to be seen, and all of a sudden there is that day. There is, and then there's a camera guy going, it's not a good time to be here right now. And that rose my flag when I first heard that. I was like, why is he even saying this? Oh, okay, I see now.
Not only that, but think about this. Think about this for a second, okay? It is raining, okay? It is nobody's there. I mean, no, okay, I what Chris said, I agree with, but at the same time, think about this. It could be, nobody's here, nobody's showing up because it's raining, right? Okay, why are you going to show up? But then again, it's Britain, it's always raining, right? Okay, but either way, the dude shows up, and he's not in the crowded area. There's nobody around. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, he runs out to a field. They can't catch him. You know what I mean? Where did he get into a car? Did he get onto a bus? And remember, everything is monitored with cameras. That whole area has all kinds of CCTV and cameras. I mean, they have active people watching that. You know what I mean? But yeah, so thank you for making me a conspiracy theorist 2021. But I'm really not. But yeah, welcome to 2021. When last week it wasn't a conspiracy, but now it is. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I would give one counterpoint. Hope that could possibly be the situation. Not saying it's true because Eric, you said you were going to do it, but I think I'll do it. It's just the idea that possibly the police are incompetent. I'm not saying that's true. I'm just saying that could be what it is too. But there's definitely, it's either malicious or there's some kind of incompetency going on, because you cannot have someone doing assault in the street and you just get away with it. Like you got to crack down on that, because when that happens, then anybody can do that. Basically, it's a voicemail that says, "Hey, if I don't agree with something, I can assault someone." That's just, possibly, Chris. That's definitely, it could be both, but it's just definitely there was a degree of incompetence. Did they even? One question I had: did they find did the guy wear gloves? Were they able to find any evidence on the knife that of the perpetrator, or they didn't find that?
I don't think anybody has that information. I don't know if they
said they recovered the knife, though. I think they did that.
Okay. You could actually hear it drop. I actually heard it drop when he ran away. You can hear it drop.
Yeah, the one thing that I wanted to kind of pour some water on y'all's fire was something that was brought up in, I can't remember whose live stream it was, but they were saying something along the lines is that if you're a Muslim and you go out and you attack Hatun like this, and you clearly demonstrate how violent Muslims can be towards somebody like her, you are doing more harm for the religion than you would ever possibly hope to do more good. And I'm down with, I agree with that completely. You hurt yourself more by doing something like this than you could ever hope to achieve by silencing her. You are essentially showing the bloody side of Islam, and it reflects entirely on everybody that is down there that is verbally attacking her, but now they've amped it up to slapping her head off her shoulders. Ali Dawa, they had a picture of Ali Dawa, or a video of Ali Dawa pulling a chair out from underneath her. maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Do you guys remember that?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, okay, now it's just getting from pulling a chair out to ha ha ha, I hope that hurt, to slapping her, to now
stabbing her.
Stabbing her. So it's steadily getting worse. But there has to be. Well, you would think that. Well, maybe you wouldn't think about that. Maybe I'm not fully thinking this through, but you would think that there would be a point where you would say enough is enough. But I guess when you insult Muhammad, and it's in your Quran that anybody that insults him, I mean, it's part of the Sunnah. I mean, let's face it. I mean, he had people killed left and right that insulted him verbally. Those 2 girls got killed for simply reciting poems that somebody else wrote, satire that somebody else wrote. He had them killed. So maybe I'm missing the point here, and you guys are right. But I just find it hard to believe that somebody is that stupid. Well, maybe I don't find it that hard.
Well, and let's look at it this way, though. When you read the Quran and you read the Sunnah of their prophet, you get an understanding that the people that were criticizing Muhammad and that were making fun of him, they ended up dying by Muhammad's hand or by his ordering people to kill them. But the Muslims nowadays in the UK feel like they're the majority. That's why you see a lot more outgoing outbursts against the Kafir in the UK, because they believe in Speaker's Corner, that's theirs. So it's Sharia complied. The cops comply with the rules and things to this nature to the Muslims. So they believe that they're in power so that they can now be like Muhammad was. So if you're going to criticize the Quran or you're going to criticize their prophet, they're going to kill you the same way that their prophet would have as well.
Oh, that's a great point, Chris. Yeah, so, well, think about this for a second, okay? Maybe the MI5 or MI6, I forget which one is eternal, but maybe they're running an op and she's upsetting the op. You know what I mean? Okay, because she's a pain in their ass. You know what I mean? And I'm sorry, I do not rule out, not conspiracy, but willing, what do you call it? Willing look the other way. You know what I mean? Or they let the dude get away. Because I'm sorry, I there's no reason they should not have caught that guy right away. You know? Now, well, here's another thing. Let's say, I mean, because this dude knew what he was doing. This dude, he dressed in that black long raincoat. Okay, he had his face covered. Okay, and he just kind of sitting there, you know, and all of a sudden, boom, 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 he slashes her. Okay, now you can argue and say, well, he was aiming for her neck. Okay, I don't see that, because I looked at it. I mean, no, if he wanted to get her neck, he would have got her neck. He struck high to the face.
No, he went. He was going. Oh yeah, anything. I mean, when you're doing something like that, and things are. I mean, everybody thinks you just plan it and perfect. You can't. When you're you're aiming for the general area.
The target, I get you.
Yeah. So anything above here is good. And if you notice, she saw it coming. Now, I don't, you know, this is again, you know, this conspiracy thing. She saw it coming. She moved. Notice how quickly she reacted. Now, people normally don't have that type of quick reaction. So she might have suspected that he was kind of out of
acting creepy.
Yeah, acting creepy, out of place, and. She's got some great reflexes, and I think that's what saved her life.
Well, I don't know much about Speaking Corner, but
when you know that Islam says kill them, you know you're going to be quick.
Well, here's the thing, and we'll let Issa talk. But here's the thing. So he runs away. He runs into basically an open area field where there's nobody. I mean, if you look at the guy that was kind of chasing him, there's nobody around. So how does he get away with the cops right on his tail? And I mean, there's nobody there. I mean, did he have a change of clothes ready? You know, just a windbreaker. You know, put that on. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm sorry. I think he had help. I don't think he was alone. You know what I mean? I think he had help.
It'll eventually come out. I'm thinking it'll eventually come out at some point in time.
If it doesn't, then it's really going to look bad on the bobbies and just the general security of London. So, it may turn to they're the real problem than even beyond this guy trying to murder Hatun. So
that's right.
it's going to be, yes,
people.
right. It's going to be very, very interesting because really, who is the true perpetrator here? I mean, was he just a pansy, and then the true culprit, could be, the bobbies, the whole system.
I don't rule that out. I honestly don't.
Yes, that's right, sir. Yes, sir.
One thing I wanted to echo what was stated about that. I actually definitely think that the police, this is an important reflection on the police, because we already, I was going to ask, do we know about the statistics of Speaker's Corner? Are there violent acts? I wouldn't be shocked if there were, because it's a place where people are talking about religion. Religion and politics are very private things, particularly here, the Protestant ethic in America. I don't know if you've read Max Weber's work in sociology, but that's the thing he talks about, the Protestant ethic. One thing you don't talk about is religion and politics. Those are the big no-nos that you don't talk about. So if you're going to a space where you are talking about religion and politics, identity politics are going to start flaming. You're going to start flaming. So I'm just shocked. Wouldn't you be very careful to monitor all kinds of acts of any person who might get erupt? Some person might slip off because, I don't know, they feel that when their religion's being attacked, they're being attacked. But I'm I don't know why you're even going to Speaker's Corner if you're going to go like that. But besides the point, I'm just wouldn't they make sure in a particularly volatile space with people of very different perspectives that people would be protected? I don't know. It just seems really shocking to me.
Well, that's the thing. So the intelligence organizations, okay, will use Speaker's Corner. Okay, they do. They actually, they really do, because people are speaking openly and honestly, and they do. And I'm not paranoid at all. No, I'm not. I mean, welcome to 2021. But no, seriously, they do. They are running ops. Okay, they have confidential informants. They have people. You know what I mean? Okay. That are there, and they're looking for someone that's going to be doing something like that or speaking out like that. Okay, just like they have, I shouldn't say in a bar or whatever, they have people, a bar, like a guy, getting drunk in a bar saying, I want to kill my wife. I want to hire a hitman. Well, he's talking to a guy that's a crackhead, meth head, or whatever. Okay, he's a confidential informant. He says, hey, this guy, he's talking about, he's looking to get out of a crime. So he's like, hey, this guy's, wants to, hit his wife. Okay, and then they introduce someone to him. Not that that's ever happened to me. I'm just saying, but you know what I mean. So they do. So I do not rule out, and I'm not saying the dude was not a Muslim. Clearly he was. But I'm just saying that, that this could be in collaboration with I'm sorry. There is no way this dude escaped without help from the police, without ignorance and looking the other way. There's no way. You know what I mean? Not at that time of day, not in broad daylight, and not with the police in the squad car.
Right there. Jeez.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Something happened. They were just like, yeah, okay, he got away. Okay, whatever. We don't know nothing no more. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. And I'm saying that they did it, so hopefully this little 5'2" woman will not show up every week being a pain in their ass every week, okay? Because, that's what she is. Because it wasn't Ali Dawa, it was Muhammad Hujab who pulled was it Ali Dawa? It was both. They pulled the chair out from under her. They stole her chair.
I just remember seeing the one. It was Ali Dawa who did it. Yeah, it was Ali Dawa.
Yeah.
Well, Muhammad Hujab stole her chair one time and said, no, I'm not giving it back. It's not my chair.
And look how long it took for the cops and the ambulance or whoever to come to her after the fact.
Right.
She's bleeding from her. Right. She's bleeding from her head. She ends up walking away, and then she faints, and she's down on the ground for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes. She finally gets back up. She preaches, and they're still not there. They're still not there. My friend was an ex-paramedic for 15 years, and geez, she would have been all over this. Ticked. She passed away two years ago, but geez. I was noticing this too, going, okay, they haven't gotten the guy, and now they're taking their own sweet time to come to a victim that was stabbed in the head and in the hand.
Yep.
Well, I'll tell you the priorities. The priorities in law enforcement is, if somebody is injured, is to render first aid and to protect that person from any further harm. Then
and we didn't
the
see it.
priority is to pursue
And we didn't
the
see
culprit. And yeah, you're right.
it was delayed.
Yeah,
So
it
delayed.
was,
Wow.
it was, and I don't know what the procedures are, what they, how the London police operate. But what I do know is that when we would respond, you were to ensure the safety of that person and render first aid, life preserving first aid first, then pursue the.
Well, one more thing on this.
And it's like they did it ass backwards. They pursued the guy, they didn't get it, and then Hatoon's left all alone for at least 10 or 15 minutes.
No, well, here's the thing. Here's another thing. Okay,
that could be a big lawsuit, but she won't do it.
Response times in the U.S., especially in Democratic-controlled cities, are way down. Because of defund the police, and the paramedics will not show up to a violent incident unless they're under police escort. Okay, that is common procedure. Okay, now I don't know. I do know we exported Black Lives Matter pretty much everywhere in the world, including South Africa, it seems. But I don't know what the situation is in England. Do they got this whole defund the police thing going on as well, where they're like scaling back resources, money, time, and the police are like being totally ostracized and being totally like, if you respond and there is violence that happens, and you're going to be charged, you're going to be persecuted, you're going to be prosecuted. I don't know. But either way, yeah, this whole thing, I mean, it sucks either way for her, and it really sucks for Islam, because it really showed the spirit of Islam in that attack. But it sucks for them, but it's a blessing. I mean, look at it. She turned the other cheek. That is a classic example of turning the other cheek. That is a classic example of Stephen, as Sam Shimon pointed out. That is a classic example of Perpetua. Highly recommend that. Perpetua. Read the story about Perpetua. Mm-hmm. And I forgot the other one's name. There were two of them that were martyred. I mean, the woman is being mauled to death by wild bulls. Okay, and she's fixing her hair. She wants to make she looks presentable. You know what I mean? Before her martyrdom. I mean, that's a classy lady, but she was a wealthy lady. But that's beside the point. Anyway, either way. Islam still sucks either way, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I like Chris's hashtag here.
Yep.
Hatoon Life Matters. Hashtag.
Yeah.
You know what? This is such a big deal. There are lesbian, feminist, anti-trans people, trans women, okay, who would not have anything to do with Hatoon. They're actually speaking out against this.
Yes, they're stepping up.
Yeah, they're Perpetua and Felicity. Thank you very much.
And even saying, no, she's not a hate preacher. No, she's not antagonistic. Because I a lot of times, I get in the zone at times, and I judge the spirit, okay, and I judge the spirit of myself as well. I have to, okay, but for the last couple days, Hatoon is there. She's a teacher. She's going, okay, well, let me show you. Here's Yusuf Ali's book. Here's Mohsen Khan's Quran. See? And she's just teaching them what's in the Quran, and then saying, come to Christ, he can save you, and you'll be delivered and set free, and all this wonderful, beautiful stuff. It's like there is nothing she's doing to antagonize people, nothing.
Let me address her tactics real quick. I'm sorry, Eric, we're not getting to the second phase. Sorry, I'm mad.
Well, we can.
But
no, let's stay here for 4 hours, Eric.
No,
I don't know if my subscription. Well, my subscription does actually allow me to stay here for 4 hours.
What do you think? We're Muslims? You think we can sit here on social media? No, come on. Seriously, think about this. Yeah, I'm going to change my neck to what it was, apologist groupie, whatever. Anyway, but no, think about this for a second, okay? All right. What? Okay, so yeah, you can criticize her tactics. They are bold. They are in your face. But again, the disciples, they were pretty much insulting the gods at the temple. Remember, cities rioted. Okay, when they were in cities in Greece. Okay, against Paul and Peter and such. Okay, I mean they had to sneak. What was it? Peter? Was it Paul? They had to sneak him out outside, in a basket and stuff.
It was Paul.
It was
Paul.
No, they were not playing around. Okay. Now,
oh yeah, they were seeking to kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because for one thing, he's not killing Christians no more. He's actually preaching the gospel.
Exactly.
So Roman wants to kill him.
well, anyway, now remember last Sunday, bless you, whoever that was. But remember, last Sunday, you guys were talking about the cross in the jar and urine and crap or whatever. Remember, I actually defended that. I said, you know what? Okay, I don't defend public money being used for that. I think that was the problem for me back then and even back now. But at the same time, I'm like, you know what? Because art and performance art or whatever, it speaks to different people in a different way. To me, that is saying, you know what? Whenever, if you're wearing a crucifix and you're out there, committing all kinds of sin, then that's what you're doing to that cross. You're putting in a jar of you're putting in a jar of your own urine, your own feces. Now, I don't think that's what the artist intended when he did that. I don't know. But either way, again, remember, this stuff speaks to different people. It affects people in a different way. And you cannot, as freedom of speech, you cannot sit there and say, no, we're not going to disallow that. And that is kind of the point of this whole thing. So again, you can criticize her for her methods, fine. But you don't slice and dice her up, man, or defend those that are slicing and dicing her up, or say, "Well,
this is what I want to do as we close out the show, guys. This is what I want to do as we close out the show for those people who did perpetuate this crime against Hatun. I have these contributions for you. I just want to make sure that you understand.
Oh, there you go, man.
Free speech.
Now they're going to show up at the Walmart. They're going to show up at the Walmart now, dude.
Go ahead and let them. This is what free speech is. It might be offensive, and if it's offensive, go ahead and leave. Don't look at it. But this is what we do here in the West. If you don't like what somebody has to say, you have to respect their right to say it. You don't have to respect the person. You don't have to respect what they're saying, but you do have to respect that right. And if you're going to act like this, then this is exactly what happens. Because if you're going to try to tell me to shut up and you're going to try to tell me that I cannot exercise my First Amendment privilege, regardless of how offensive you might think it is, guess what? I'm going to continue to do this because you are not going to take away my First Amendment privileges. You are not going to tell me what to think, what to say. You're not going to tell me, oh, by the way, let me make sure you understand this. You're not going to tell me whether or not I can have a radio show or not, or if I have to make a decision between my radio show and my job, thinking that, well, he'll go ahead and stop doing his radio show. We'll get him to shut up. This does not stop. If you want this to continue to mock Muhammad like this and all these little things this is the most telling. That's just the sickest of all of them.
Okay, just
you want it to stop. You want it to stop. You need to make a full-throated condemnation every single time violence like this is perpetuated against Christians. We heard on that on that condemnation show all about how that psychopath ran over those Muslims in Toronto or wherever it was. Those four Muslims that were killed, and they got universally, unequivocally, without
never even heard about it.
Yeah, they're antagonistic. No.
They blamed you for that. They blamed you for that. They said you were responsible for that. No. Seriously. Just to let you know, just to let everybody know, I am now resigning officially from Eric's manager because he's going to get me killed. No. Seriously, think about this, people. Okay. I mean, here you are, Eric. I mean, you didn't do all this stuff. I'm sorry, but you're absolutely right. Okay. The more you say we can't do this, the more we have to say we will do this.
Exactly.
And we will offend to offend.
Right.
Okay?
And I will free to offend. And that's exactly what I will do. You're going to try to tell me I can't? Guess what? I'm going to.
But again, Eric Smith, Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Do not come to Chirac. I'm just saying, but there you go. Anyway.
And that guy that ran those Muslim people over in their van, there's nowhere that Christ says go and kill people. So he can call himself a Christian as the day is long, that's exactly right. Yeah, yes.
This is exactly what they said that we would do, Connie, is that we would try to say, well, he wasn't really a Christian. He wasn't acting like a Christian. I don't care. I do care if he was a Christian, because you're exactly right. He was not following any tenet that we would find that Christ.
That's exactly right. Yes, sir.
I wouldn't have fellowship with him.
And we condemn it, and they kept on saying, we didn't hear no one, even of Eric's thingy. We condemn it. That's crazy, because if we're trying to expose Islam as murder, well, Jesus never told us to murder, so they can't turn around and say, well, does it come out to say that this guy claimed that he was a Christian? Eric, I never heard the story.
I don't know. I don't know. And if he was, then as Rad said, we would have no fellowship with him. There is no fellowship.
That's exactly right. He's a murderer. Yeah.
Unless he repented.
Rad, go ahead. What did you say, sir?
Unless he repented and made a full confession and came out and said, no, not.
And he's going to jail.
And he's going to prison for the rest of his life.
You betcha. That's exactly right.
Death penalty. Yeah,
that's exactly right.
What's so heartbreaking about this is, and what gets people that are Muslims so irate. The little kid that
that's horrible.
4 years old. Your heart. It doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter if they're Muslim, Christian, Jew. It doesn't matter.
Right. When you
alive. Yes. Yeah, exactly. When you run somebody over. The what?
What's that, Issa?
Oh, I was to say, you have the Christ Church massacre. You have the situation with the cemetery where it was desecrated. Whoever did these things, they must call them out and say this is wrong. I don't care what your ethnicity is. I don't care what religion you claim you are. The thing is, if you're not following, you're not following your own rules of whatever religion you're claiming to be in, you can call it out, and that's why in the show we're agreeing with Charles and Edwards.
They don't agree with themselves. That's the thing.
Well, I'm just saying their statement. We agree with their statement. That statement is important. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter what your background is. If people do horrible acts, they must be called out. And that person who did that horrible act because he felt offended, like there was another story. There was a guy who was an atheist person. He dressed up as quote unquote zombie prophet Muhammad. You could say he was an Arab or whatever, right? But he dressed up as this. Some guy punched him when he was walking down the road. This happened several years ago. And I'm excuse me.
I remember this.
I'm like, excuse me. Yeah, you can dress up as however you want. And if you feel offended, you need to go somewhere else. You don't have a right to, that's called assault and battery. That it's a crime that this person did. And I'm like, I'm sorry, you feel offended. You know what you can do? You know what you can do? Grow up and be a good human being. And you know what you could do? You can write a scathing review and say, this really affected me. I was super hurt when I saw this person walking down the road, and in this multicultural society, I don't want that in my society. You could write that paper, put it in the New York Times, put it in some newspaper. That's fine. That's legal. That's okay. But when you start attacking and assaulting people, it's not okay. And this was assault, and this person needs to go to jail, and that's it. It's like you can't even say, oh, my emotions were hurt, my feelings are hurt. Guess what? If someone said something insulting about my own mother or about my family or people I love, I don't have a right to attack them. I'd be like, okay, that really hurt me. I'm offended by what they said, but I'm not going to stab someone for doing that. No, absolutely.
Yes, exactly. I learned that in the 4th grade, man. I mean, we all learned that in the 4th grade. Somebody insults your mother, you beat them up, but then you go home and you get your ass whipped by your dad because
that's exactly right.
You know what I mean?
What happened with me?
You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, you know. But you know,
You get punished. That's not the right
yeah,
thing to
exactly.
do.
Oh yes, yes, sir.
But continue with what Issa was going on this. That dude actually, they let the guy off that assaulted him, and the judge, who was an Iraqi vet, just saying, who went all native, evidently. Yeah, he was an Iraqi vet, special operations, by the way. No, he worked ops. Anyway, he said that he, blah 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 blah. He chastised the dude, but they let the guy off. But either way, okay, people will offend. People will deliberately do this. People will deliberately provoke, especially in this day and age where everybody wants likes and hits. And if you're the most offensive, you'll get the likes and hits. You know what I mean? Okay. Or the links and everything. Okay. That's going to happen. Okay. And especially if they get assaulted or killed. I mean, seriously, this is a crazy world now. I am sorry. Let me continue on my rant. Do you know this weekend in Chirac was a good weekend? Do you know why? Because only 70 people were shot and only 12 people were murdered. That's a good freaking weekend. Because
wow, where is this at?
In Chirac, where I live. Okay.
Oh, Chirac. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Normally it's over 100 on the weekend now, with over 50. Well, no, I shouldn't say 50. With over 20 people being murdered. Okay. The world's going crazy, man. I mean, and some people are going to offend. You know what I mean? I don't know, man.
And the more that the authorities just stand there, like what we started seeing like 2 years ago, riots would happen and they would just have the protector police just standing out in the corner holding their shields and doing nothing. So it's almost like the demons and the elites are saying, just let them kill themselves. But we're not going to, we're not going to try to act like that. But that's what I think that what's being said spiritually is just let them all kill each other, and then we'll have our planet. Ha ha.
Yeah, that's why I just want to get on a spaceship and go to Alpha Centauri.
Beam me up, Scotty, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and call it. And I just wanted to make this last statement here. The reason why I put that condemnation video up there by the CCTV, QRST, whatever they are, was because I wanted to show them their hypocrisy and their inconsistency. When you have somebody, and this is why, one of the reasons why I believe the imam was upset is because this is right about the time that he was trying to do fundraising for his water projects, which I believe is a very noble undertaking. Yeah. But Hatun got a GoFundMe, and they raised $10,000 to buy her new pair of glasses the next day.
Mm-hmm. He freaked out.
And I don't want to, impose motivations there for him, but you could just see the anger was palpable in that, and that he did not. Let's just make sure that we understand this. When you look at this post, no matter how he wants to spin it, there is nothing in there about a condemnation about what happened to her, and there's nothing in there talking about her theology. It was a mockery, is what it was. And that's why I made a big deal out of that, because that's exactly what he was doing. He was mocking it then, but now, because he's a hypocrite, he's not mocking it now, and he's coming out and feigning this big condemnation now. And it just rings shallow. It really does. And
dude's a con man. I actually sent him an email. I said, back in the day, if I would have met you, I would have put him on a crew. I would have said, dude, you are really good. I mean, but he doesn't even know it, I bet. I mean, he doesn't even know it. He might not even know it, but no, dude, I give him credit. He thinks I'm insulting him. Okay, he sent me, you insult me. No, Kenny, I'm not insulting you. You are actually a hustler. You are good. You don't, you know what I mean? You have a limited education, okay? And you hustle. You do your best, but it's all screwed up and all jumbled up. But no, he does. I mean, if he had proper guidance and you know what I mean? He probably could have been something. But anyway, but no, seriously, the dude's got hustle. I'm just saying, he does.
Okay, we got I'm gonna go over to Soko Film as soon as we sign out here. Evidently, Kay says that they're sharing information regarding the investigation. So we'll see what's going on.
All right, definitely.
Hey, don't forget to be with us tomorrow afternoon at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Kelly Powers and I are going to be doing a live stream. If you want to come in and participate too, that's fine.
That's your main thing. That's your, you got a lot to share with each other. Jumping onto airplanes and shooting up people. And
I'll just come in and start talking. I'll just mute you or put you back in one of the two. So, all right, everybody that came, that was in chat, that was here on the panel. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you for coming, and we'll see you next time.
Lovely as all.
Radio Free Kafiristan.
Mm-hmm.